skillfully made, ripped out a great artist page. From the eyes to the nose to the name, it's all made to be the same. Beautiful already. It's all beautiful already. Your most wonderful masterpiece. And I know you love it when I sing the melody. I'm the most high art, made from the most high God.
You guys, I am 28 in 8 days. I am 28 in 8 whole days. And I have been processing just a little bit about what my journey with the Lord has been like, and since I got saved when I was 17 up until now, what this past year has taught me as a woman of God, as a developing leader, all of the things, just all of the things. The first thing is, like, time really do be flying. Like, it is so crazy to think where I am versus where I was, versus, like, I feel like just yesterday I was like ministering on my college campus and like getting people saved and having people like bang on my door because I was supposedly praying too loud. Like, I feel like that stuff was like yesterday, and it was a whole decade ago, which is insane. It's like, it's insane to think about. I'm like, that happened a decade ago. And it's also wild to think about some of the, mothers and fathers in the faith that I was mentored by in past seasons of life who are no longer here, who, have gone on to be with the Lord and that I don't see anymore. And just feeling like, dang, times and seasons really do change. And now just watching God do whatever he's doing in my life is kind of insane. Sometimes, I don't know if anybody else ever feels like this, but sometimes you could feel like a audience member to your own life when you're walking with God, because when you give your life over, it's not your life anymore. And so you just be like, Lord, I don't know what we doing. I'm just obeying in this. I'm just obeying in this season. But then low key, you be like, but what are we doing? Because at the end of the day, like, I'm trying to figure my life out. Like, how we get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. It's a wild ride in salvation, to be saved, to stay saved, to maintain your fire, to go through the peaks, the valleys, of everything. But I think the Lord has actually very much sharpened my value system over the past year, through disappointments, loss, grief, and everything in between, but also through the good things, the manifestation of promises, also through sharpening my ability to hear his voice, also through becoming a little bit more dynamic in the prophetic and not just relying on one stream. Also becoming a little bit more confident in my voice as a leader, as a mentor, and all the things. So I feel like my core values have just shifted a lot. Not in a negative way, obviously, but and some of them have shifted and some of them have become cemented. So I'm going to start with the ones that have shifted. I really one of my core values was like accomplishment. Like, I felt like I always had to feel accomplished in everything. But I think over this past year and going into this next phase of life for me, I don't really feel like I need to feel accomplished in the way that the world has told me that I need to feel accomplished. And I think when being if you're a results driven person, it is going to be difficult. And what's crazy is like, I wasn't always a results driven person, but when you have certain pressure points on your life, pressure can change a person, and it can also draw out things that are lying dormant on the inside of you. And when certain pressures hit my life, I learned that what was lying dormant on the inside of me was this person who did not want to get anything wrong ever. And not only did I not want to get anything wrong ever, but I also wanted to accomplish everything that I set my mind to. And in the world, that's like applauded. But what I had to realize was that in God, sometimes you set your mind to things and he pivots. You know, many are the plans of a man's heart, but it's the Lord's purpose that prevails. And part of being a good disciple is being able to do instantaneous pivots just because that's what God has said, just because that's what he wants, just because that's what he's looking for, etc., etc. And you be like, but dang, I put so much work into X, Y, and Z. And he's like, good job. But now we doing A, B, and C. And it's like, but what about the work that I put in X, Y, and Z? And if you are too attached to seeing the results of everything that you put your hands to, you will actually find yourself out of sync and out of step with the Spirit of God. And that has been something that the Lord has really been convicting me about, is that, when your core value is accomplishment and seeing, it's good to want to see fruit, but it's not good to be obsessive over being a results-based oriented person. You just need to be an obedience-based oriented person. You just need to do what you are unctioned to do and be okay with letting some things go if that's what thus saith the Lord. Okay? Period. Number two thing that I have really learned, or rather, number two core value that is being shifted. I went from accomplishment to obedience, and I have gone from not accomplishment. What was it before? More so like attainment to servanthood. You know what's crazy is I really did think I had a servant mindset until I hit a level of servanthood that was like mad uncomfortable for me, because it required me to give up everything. And I was like, but not that level of servanthood. Because y'all know we like to do God on our terms, you know, and then he'd be like, woman of God. And so I learned my number two thing was, or my number two core value that shifted for me was that I learned that the things that I do is for the sake of serving, not for the sake of building up my resume, building up my academic career, my professional career, my whatever career. This thing is about building something so much bigger than me. And so my mind has really shifted from the societal pressures that when you're in the world, they put on you, like, oh, you know, you need to go get this degree. You should get this certification. You should get that. And it could just be information overload. Like, dang, how many certifications do I have to pursue at one time? Like, how many things do I have to do before I am enough? You know, and if you're not careful, that stuff can really drown out the voice of God, because you will get so sucked into this like loophole of pursuing things for the approval of man and to look good in man's eyes, when you were already standing fully affirmed, fully capable, fully able. And here you are, you know, letting the enemy talk you out of your position because of standards and expectations that God never set on you. And so I really realized, like, attainment is not my value, servanthood is. So I'm just looking to serve and not to be served. And if I keep that mindset, then I can avoid disappointment. I can avoid depression. I can avoid despair. I can avoid a whole bunch of stuff if I could just keep the mindset of servanthood. Another core value that has shifted for me, or that was added for me, was honor. I always had that as a core value. I think when you get saved, that is a biblical, it's a foundational thing. Like, I think, that's like a Holy Spirit 101, is honor. But to the degree that I have seen the fruit of it in my life in this season and in the seasons past, it's more than just a principle. It's really like, I can't live without it. Like, my life is not my life without honor. And I don't see it like the weird thing is, for me, I have watched like certain things hit my life that I was terrified of become activated just from being under the right people, around the right people, getting the right information, and having the confidence in the Lord to walk it out and to actually give it a try. Like, it's the craziest thing. I used to be terrified of entrepreneurship, but I watched my spiritual parents run a business. I've sat under the language of entrepreneurs for over a decade of my life, and something has been activated in me where numbers don't scare me anymore, and I was able to purchase my first home at 25 years old. Like, who does that? Like, sit across the table and negotiate with people, high dollar amounts, and manage, contracts and all types of really cool things. And I can't even explain how terrified I was of those kinds of things. Like, I was so terrified to manage any kind of money. I had the worst financial anxiety I think anybody could possibly have. And now I'm actually like generally okay with numbers. Like, I'm pretty good with numbers. And it's just really cool. Like, it's really cool to see how impartation really does work. And impartation really is a major key alert. Like, it can have you skip some things in your process that you just don't have to go through because you was around the right people. And I really do feel like there have been things that I've skipped because of just being around the right environments. So I am grateful for that. Amen. Okay, so I got obedience. I have obedience, servanthood, and honor. Okay, those are my three core values. Obviously, my fourth one is faith. And my fifth one is fun. I really don't like. I'm be very honest with y'all. Like, if something is overly serious, like it has a time limit for which it can remain that serious. Because I'm not about to sit here and like. I think one of the reasons why I added fun into my core values list is because prophetic people can get down in the dumps so quickly. And the way that we are wired, the way that we, the things that we pick up, the things that we see, how our developmental process in God is, how our developmental process as leaders are, all of that can be very depressing. And if you ain't a prophet, you don't understand. But, we just, sometimes we're a little nutty. So I have learned that fun is as much a part of this walk as anything else. Life is but a vapor. Sometimes the word is just enjoy your life. You know what I mean? Go for a run, get the breeze on your face, hear the birds chirp and relax a little bit. Like, that is literally the word of the Lord. You know what I mean? I'm not that person. As much as I love the word and have can spend hours just reading the word and just really, I love theology but I have just such a respect for rest and recuperation of your body, soul, spirit. Your mind needs a break. Your spirit man needs a break. Your body need a break. Your soul need a break. Everything is going to need a break. Because over this past year, with everything that has gone on, I have learned how to have fun again in my way. And what that looks like as a 28-year-old, what that looks like in this season of my life versus past seasons of my life. And that's the thing that when you get saved, a lot of people don't tell you, is that you have to redefine yourself, literally. And that's a continual process. It's not like you got saved and because you had this encounter and you met the Lord, that you come down from that encounter or you come down from that moment and, you know, you're just radically shifted. Now, some people have that testimony, like, I just stopped smoking weed the day after. But then some people got the testimony, like, I needed a process, whatever. But the thing about it is, as much as God requires us to let go of things, at the same time you're letting something go, you're also picking something up. And so I've learned that I was good at letting go of a lot of things, but I wasn't picking up at the same time I was putting down. So I would, you know, if I'm not, I really used to do this, but like if I wasn't clubbing like that anymore, well, what am I doing on Friday nights? Like, now I found out I love Friday night movie nights. That is my thing. Okay, that's my thing. My one of my family members called me the other day, and she was like, the lights was off in my house. She FaceTimed me. The lights was off in my house. I had food out, like I had it all set up. She was like, who you with? I was like, girl, me and Benny. What are you talking about? Benny's my dog baby. I was like, that's me and Benny. Like, what are you talking about? It's movie night. It's Friday night. She was like, you just sit around, you watch movies by yourself? I'm like, I'm a single woman. What you want me to do? And, but I found out that I love movie nights. Like I can't even explain to y'all. I get revelation from movies because I am a creative brain. I write scripts, all of that stuff. So like watching movies is a outlet for me. I'm gonna tell y'all something else. I love sports. Like I really do. Like if I can have a Friday night, a Saturday where I could just like watch sports and relax, and it could literally be any sport except soccer. I don't really like watching soccer unless it's the World Cup, or unless Mbappe's playing. But I could watch any sport all day and it relaxes me. It brings me back center. It grounds me. It reminds me of like growing up and being in the gym, and you could just like, I don't know, smell the basketballs on the rack. It is grounding to me. And I realized how important it is in my routine to keep that stuff front and center. You like to really keep the things that ground you inside of your routine so that you don't burn out and find yourself becoming bitter at the call of God because you're out of balance. So I have put fun in my core values. I have a lot of fun now in a way that I would say 365 days ago, I had no fun at all because I was sitting around. I would get up, I would go to work, come home, do chores, and clock in again to do another job because I was writing a master's thesis and doing a master's, completing a master's degree. And if anybody has ever wrote a master's thesis, you know a master's thesis is very hard to complete. Like it is not easy. It is a process. You are constantly getting a lot of feedback. You know, your whoever's overseeing your process, like your professors or whatever, they always have something to say. You get your documents redlined. You could be spending hours and days and weeks and months on something just to get it back, and they'll be like, good, but not good enough, do X, Y, and Z, and you think you knocked it all the way out the park. I can honestly say that I didn't know what joy felt like in 2024. I really didn't. I just knew what hard work looked like. I knew what stress looked like. I knew what pressure points looked like. I knew what responsibilities looked like. I knew all of that, but I had no clue what joy was. I was like, where is joy? And I resolved within myself at the top of the year that I was going to work with joy. I was going to do everything that I had from a disposition of joy to the best of my ability. You know, obviously it's a process because you have to rewire your mind. But to the best of my ability, I was going to do everything I could to work from a disposition of joy and to have fun. Like, I literally had an authority figure in one of our conversations tell me, like, you do a really great job. You just need to have more fun. And when I heard that, I realized, coming from an authority figure in my life who has seen me produce a lot of work, a lot of product, a lot of things, to look at me and say, like, the only thing you can do to make yourself better is to have a little bit more fun. I take that really close to heart. So, have a little bit more fun. Add fun into your faith. Add joy into your faith, and smile, laugh, and take care of yourself. So that's how my values have shifted as a now 28-year-old in the faith, in my walk with God, in my journey in becoming a better leader day to day, accepting the call of God on my life as a whole other video. It's a whole other conversation with a whole other set of things to think about. But that's it. I'm 28 and I am still saved. And I think that's about all I could ever ask for, is just to be saved and to still have my right mind and to still have a heart that wants to pursue God. I'm a very wealthy woman. And I got the most sentimental gift I have ever gotten. And I'm going to end it with this. I'm going to end this video with this. My sister, she got me the best gift I have ever gotten. And I told her it was so prophetic because my birthday theme dinner party is all about royalty, because 28's a biblical representation of governance, of coming into leadership, of stepping into, who you are, of authority, all of that good stuff, right? She didn't know that, but she got me this card that was really cute. Y'all see that? Birthday Queen. And it says, "Long may you reign," because it's royalty theme. The birthday party is royalty theme. So everybody's coming, walking into their authority. She's so stupid. She said "Forever Shanae," because we used to watch Martin all the time. Happy birthday, Jigaboo. I'm in my sentimental gift phase. So this one is for all the times we rewinded that VHS, for the Broadway show You Saw Without Me, even though we said we go together, all the shade, and for that terrifying Exxon you decide to for that terrifying Exxon you decided to stray on the set until you finish singing your part of the song. Love you, even though all the bamified things you do. Enjoy your day, Lindsay. My sister got me the most sentimental gift, and when I picked it up from my front yard this morning, I literally was jaw dropped. I was literally jaw dropped. I was like, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I am a creative. Well, most people actually do know this about me, because I have put out a lot of stuff, but I am a creative. I'm a storyteller, and I love Broadway. I love theater. I love script writing, all of the things. One of my favorite Broadway shows and one of my favorite animated movies ever to be made is Anastasia. I love Anastasia. It's super prophetic to me, and yeah, it's a whole thing between me and the Lord, this movie. And it's a music box. It's a music box just like the one in the movie. And when you open it, see how pretty? All you have to do is twist it. I could just look at this thing all day long. This is the best gift ever. And she literally was like, "Lauren, I know it wasn't expensive." I was like, I don't care how much it was. The fact that you thought about the things that I love and how it speaks to me and all of that, this is just beautiful. So I'm putting this in a very special place. I will probably give this to my kids one day I'm going to anoint it with oil. It's a whole thing. It's going to be a whole process. So yeah. This is a prophetic confirmation to me, if anybody knows what this movie's about. Essentially the main character goes through a process of being an orphan and then finding her way home by the end of the story. But the best scene in that movie to me is when she is fighting Rasputin, and he essentially like attacks her in her dream life to try to get her to jump off of the ship, and she snaps out of it. And I mean, I remember being a kid and watching that movie, and it was the first time the Lord was starting to speak to me about my dreamer of dreams gift and the prophetic realm and who I was as a seer, and not to be afraid of being attacked in my sleep from nightmares. And the Broadway version of the show the Broadway version of the show has a song. It's one of my favorite Broadway songs ever performed. It's called In My Dreams. And the main character is essentially saying that even though in the natural she's been separated from her home, she's not separated from the dreams that she has about where she's going. And I listen to that song all the time, and God just speaks to me through it when I am discouraged, when I am frustrated or anything of the sort in my process. I just hold on to my dreams. So that's 28. Hold on to your dreams and keep living chosen. And for all my March babies, happy birthday to us. And like, share, subscribe. You can always follow me on all social media platforms at It's Lauren Crespo. That's at It's Lauren Crespo. And if you want to get in contact with me, you can either DM me or email me at laurencrespo@outlook.com. That is it. Until next time. See ya.
I'm the most high.